The political and legal arguments continue over President Biden deciding to pardon his son Hunter. The president says any reasonable person would conclude that his son's cases were politically motivated and unfair. Joining us live now for more is LA legal analyst Neama Rahmani, who is a former federal prosecutor, now president of West Coast Trial Lawyers. Thanks for joining us today.
Rob, thanks for having me, as always.
So what changed here? And is it safe to for some of us to assume that this maybe had something to do with Donald Trump picking Kash Patel to head the FBI?
Rob, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this was planned the entire time. Nothing changed over Thanksgiving weekend at the Biden house. And I'm going to tell you why. There is a reason that Hunter Biden turned down that diversion deal, which is a gift. Never happens in federal court. I put more than 1,000 people in federal prison, never once offered diversion. And then when he came to Los Angeles, he walked into the courtroom on the day of trial with a jury deal and pleaded to all the counts in the indictment. It's very rare for a criminal defendant to do that. They always negotiate some sort of deal, drop some of the charges, get a reduced recommendation during the sentencing. The reason Hunter Biden did this, and he had great lawyers, is because he knew he had a pardon in his back pocket.
So what do you think would have happened if Kamala Harris had won the election?
I think Kamala Harris would be the one to pardon Hunter Biden. And obviously there is no Kamala Harris, and we're going to have a very different Department of Justice in January. So it was just a matter of time before President Biden did this. And he tried to sneak it in at the late hour on Sunday evening, thinking folks won't notice after he's been saying he won't do this for the past 6 months. But, unfortunately, Joe Biden's sounding a lot like Donald Trump, attacking our criminal justice system, the Department of Justice, which really was his Department of Justice who went after his son. So pretty disappointing that both major party candidates are taking swipes at the DOJ.
Do you think this damages the respect for law and politicians getting involved in oversight of the legal system?
I think it does. This wasn't a political prosecution. Hunter Biden raised that argument in Delaware, raised that argument in California, it was rejected. Donald Trump raised that argument everywhere. This was a clear prosecution. I mean, he was a drug addict. He smoked crack cocaine. He had a gun. He didn't pay his taxes for years. He wrote off expenses related to prostitutes. I mean, this is someone that would have been prosecuted regardless of their name. Now, maybe they would have been prosecuted for felonies, but Hunter Biden had the opportunity to resolve this case for 2 no-time misdemeanors and diversion. If he kept his nose clean, he wouldn't have anything on his record at all, anything of substance. So this is really all his own doing. I don't think this was political at all, and 2 judges agreed with me.
So you don't think that Republicans, Donald Trump supporters in Congress, especially in the House, who went all in on, maybe we don't remember because it was so long ago, Hunter Biden's laptop, Hunter Biden, part of the Biden crime family, et cetera, and raising a lot of pressure, demanding that prosecutors throw the book at Hunter Biden. You don't think that had anything to do with the way the case was prosecuted?
I don't think so. I think it had to do with David Weiss being appointed special counsel. Once Hunter Biden blew up the deal, then it was Merrick Garland that said, okay, well, now that we're going to trial, we're going to investigate Hunter Biden for everything. And that's also why, Rob, this pardon was one of the broadest I've ever seen. Certainly the broadest going back to President Nixon. It covers everything for the past 10 years, not just the gun case in Delaware, the tax case here in LA. It covers potential business dealings with Ukraine and China, FARA violations, obviously drug use, prostitution. It covers everything because President Biden wanted to make sure that Hunter couldn't be prosecuted for anything, at least at the federal level, starting 2025.
LA legal analyst Neama Rahmani, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Rob.